welcome to my channel. My name is Rachael. This is Women in Priesthood, and thank you so much for those of you who've subscribed. We hit another milestone in our channel, and I honestly just am so surprised sometimes that so many people are listening, and even more surprised, I'm amazed how many people have been so supportive of this issue and are interested in this issue. I really do feel like I have the best listeners and the best subscribers. You guys, I read every comment. I want to know what you think. And I'm really excited to kind of announce a new resource for you guys who are interested in learning about Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Father, priesthood power, and more importantly, one of the things that I feel like I've really encountered that has surprised me maybe in the last few years is how many parents, mothers, and fathers are looking for resources into how to interact with their children, whether it's their adult children or their young women or their young men, because they are confronting a lot of worldliness, maybe at church or in young women's. I've had multiple people email me and just so interested in, where do I get these resources? And so what I've done is if you go to one of my videos, you're going to scroll down, and when you go, click on the video, and if you go to the bottom of the video here, it's going to say, click link to access shared spreadsheet. Okay. This is a spreadsheet that you cannot edit yourself, but you will be able to have access to all of the quotes and resources about multiple topics. I've got a tab on talks that reference Heavenly Mother, talks that are talking about priesthood quotes. And on this sheet, I'm doing, if you can see it, sir, I've got the format of it is I want the title of the talk, the year it was given, the actual quote, and then the references. So in an ideal world, you'd have time to go do all this research yourself. But the reality is we're all really busy, and I'm pretty excited about this topic. I feel really, really lucky to be a woman in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I really feel lucky to be able to witness what I see is a renaissance of revelation about Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. Joseph Smith said in the King Follett Discourse, which is one of the last public speeches he gave before he was martyred, is the challenge is to know the true nature of God. And in the last few years, we have had such an overwhelming tidal wave of revelation about the nature of God, Elohim, i.e. Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father. And it's hard though, because all of that revelation is a line here, a line there in different conference talks. Elder Ballard has some amazing quotes in several temple dedications. What I've done is just tried to collate all those different quotes here on this spreadsheet, and this hopefully can be a resource for those of you who are seeking guidance yourself about this or seeking ways to have conversations with your children or with anyone. I also have a lot of talks on priesthood power, and I have a section on men and women being united together. So go ahead and check that out. Now, there's this really interesting thing that I've discovered recently. I always come back to the kickoff event of this whole reason for this channel was Russel Nelson's 2019 General Conference, and it's entitled Spiritual Treasures. And in it, he challenges everyone to really make a special effort to study all we can about priesthood power. I never understood the title of this talk until recently when I was thinking about it, because what is a treasure? A treasure is something that you actually have to actively go and look specifically for, like a treasure hunter or a pirates. Like they're very, very specific in what they're looking for. And when I look at this line that really struck me in the Heavenly Mother, this is actually Elder Renlund's talk, and he also references this in the Heavenly Mother essay. And it says this line, As with many other truths of the gospel, our present knowledge about a mother in heaven is limited. Nevertheless, we have been given sufficient knowledge to appreciate the sacredness of this doctrine and to comprehend the divine pattern established for us as children of heavenly parents. What struck me is this line where it says, we have been given sufficient knowledge to appreciate the sacredness of this doctrine and to comprehend the divine plan. What is so interesting about that is it's almost like a clue that Elder Renland and the authors of the Mother in Heaven essay on LDS.org are saying the doctrine and the revelation are already there. There's so many women out there clamoring for more. We want more information about Heavenly Mother. And if you look at some of my other videos, they're really taking the same rote, redundant, regurgitated narrative and plugging and playing it into the same argument, which is that, women are oppressed, women have a less status than men in this church. And they're not looking at the doctrine. They're saying, we want more. But the reality is when you look at that quote, it's like, we have been given sufficient knowledge to appreciate the sacredness. What I have discovered from weeding through these talks and really starting to pay attention is that the doctrine about Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father being united, physical beings, divine beings, is that a lot of that revelation has been very, very evident in a lot of talks since 1995 and on. We just haven't been treasure hunting enough. We haven't been really, really specifically looking for this doctrine. I received a amazing, I really read every comment you guys have on my videos. They mean so much to me. I really read, I read every single thing, and I really have enjoyed, sorry, I'm kind of coming back to my channel here. I enjoy interacting with you. I enjoy all the testimonies that people bear, their personalized experiences. So I know what you're looking for. One of the most meaningful quotes I'm going to pull up, I actually sent it to my husband because it brought me to tears. And really inspires me that there's a lot of us in the trenches right now. This is by KRINTO4. And this person said, I shared your channel with my daughters last night. Thanks for all the time and effort you put into your presentations and information. And that meant a lot to me to know that there's a dad out there who's really trying to reach his daughters and really trying to influence his daughters for good. And I also received, and this is a sobering email that I'm going to let you know about. It's not the first I've received. I have received multiple emails where women and men tell me that their daughters are going to Young Women's, and the Young Women's leaders themselves are saying they're saying things about the doctrine that is makes the young women feel very diminished. So this one mother wrote me and she's like, thank you so much for your videos. I'm so discouraged because the Young Women's leaders in my daughter's ward are telling them that it's okay to feel icky about the priesthood because we have less. And I want to share that email with you because I get a lot of those types of emails, and so you're not alone. And I think it is time for us as parents, friends, even Young Women's leaders in that kind of a conflicted, I've been in that environment as a Young Women's leader where you know that there are women who are leaders in your presidency who have a very flawed and maybe baggage-oriented relationship with men in the church or with the priesthood. We have to be able to start knowing the doctrine and really testifying to our young women of the truthfulness of priesthood power through covenants, of the unity between men and women. Why would our young women want to stay in a religion that people are telling them is oppressive to them, which is, by the way, not accurate? One of the things that I find so beautiful about our religion is how accessing priesthood power comes through men and women who are united together. One of my favorite quotes in here talks about how the fullest expression of priesthood power is in the families. And that is either Elder Renland. Oh my gosh, that's where this spreadsheet comes in. You can search stuff. You can look it up. If we don't teach our young women the truth, if we don't have the resources, they will believe what the world or worldliness is telling them. And that might even be in young women's. And it's okay to take our kids and say, we're going to teach you critical thinking, even spiritual critical thinking, even at church. This is what the doctrine says about the beauty of men and women, the equality that men and women have before God. This is what our doctrine says. And so you're free to choose to believe a person in your ward who's misguided, or you're free to pray about these actual doctrines that have been restored. One of the things that I think is so beautiful about this co-collaborative dynamic you see at church is that no men are able to hold significant positions of priesthood leadership in wards, stakes, or beyond without a wife. Isn't that interesting? Because that wife stands as a witness to this man's personal life. She says, I am a witness to his personal conduct. And without that witness, that woman in his life, he cannot receive certain callings. Isn't that interesting? That even in our church, women allow men access to higher levels of priesthood. There are many men who cannot receive priesthood levels until they've been sealed. The highest status for men and women in our religion is people who are united together in covenant marriage. And I don't say that in any way to make anyone who hasn't been able to get married feel bad. I don't at all. But I also recognize that in this generation of young women, so I'm a millennial in my 30s, and from where I'm from in New England, you've seen some of my other fertility videos, I can count on one hand the number of young women in my graduating class from feminist New England who ended up getting married. And do you know why? It's because we were taught in New England that marriage is an oppressive institution, that you should pursue career, that motherhood is beneath you and beneath your talents. We have got to use doctrine and the truth on our side to teach our daughters, to teach our sons that marriage is the most wonderful thing to aspire to. And one of the things that I think so unique about our religion is the archetype that stands at the head of our religion, which is, as President Oaks said, he said, and it's in here, he said, our theology begins with heavenly parents. Our highest aspiration is to be like them. Now, what's interesting about that quote is that it's a one-line sentence in a talk about apostasy and restoration. Isn't that interesting? It's not even about Heavenly Mother, or Heavenly Father, or Heavenly Parents. It's about what was restored in the restoration process. And this is where I get really excited because I'm from Sharon, Vermont, or I'm from that area. I'm from the Hanover, Sharon, Vermont area. My parents are converts. And so I spend a lot of time, having come from Catholic, Christian kind of background in New England, being able to notice what the gospel of Jesus Christ in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints adds to Christianity. What was lost is a true understanding of the value of God being Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father. And let's not forget that this is Jesus Christ's gospel. None of this revelation about the existence of Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Father having a wife, that they're married, would be allowed if it weren't for Jesus Christ's permission, for Jesus Christ to want that aspect of gospel to be part of the restoration of truth. Now, what's interesting to me as well is the way that I think a knowledge of truth changes culture's behavior. So when you look at Catholicism, and I am from a long line of Italian Catholics, I have a lot of respect for the Catholic religion. When you look at the highest form of worship or sacrifice that a Catholic can give to be close to God, it is becoming a priest or a nun. In fact, it's funny because my grandmother wanted to become a nun when she was growing up Catholic. And Later, she joined the church. But what's so interesting about the Catholic religion is it shows that the highest aspirational thing you can do in that religion is forsake family life, forsake marriage, forsake the creation, procreation of children and progeny. Isn't that interesting? And in the Restoration, that Joseph Smith was allowed to be a conduit for Jesus Christ's truth, it flipped it all on its head. Because what are Mormons known for? We're known for marriage. We're known for having big families and lots of kids. We're known for striving for happy family life. Not just numbers. This isn't like get as many kids as you can. It's let's be happy. Let's love each other. Let's create happy homes. And so what's so interesting about the way that image, you can look at some of my other videos. I really do like this. I know some people don't love this image, this artist I've shouted out over here. I like this image of Heavenly Mother and Heavenly Father here because it shows how like united they are, affectionate they are. Do you see this image right here? I've done this in one of my other videos. In the video, she is side by side with the Divine Father. That's instruction given by Joseph Smith to the early Relief Society. Their take is that his understanding of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, and who would know better than him, is that they are side by side. They created the plan together. They collaborate together. They create together because they love their children. And I just think it's such a powerful archetype that is what our religion believes in. I really believe that this gospel is true. I really believe that if we can take the time to understand the doctrine of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother, of the unity of men and women together, we can create and prepare to give the next generation of youth this spiritual immunity to the gender conflict and competition and fighting against each other that is going to dissuade them from pursuing the path of family life. And it's coming. Like, it really is coming. So I just want you to know, I'm so grateful you're here. I'm so grateful for your comments, your emails, for being part of this. And I am right with you. I have young kids, and I think about how do I prepare them to want to choose family life? And the answer is our doctrine. The answer is the truths that have been revealed in this gospel. And I just bury my testimony that I know it's true. And I really feel so lucky as a woman to be able to be a member of this church, to be a member of this religion. And I just hope that you will really take advantage of this resource, the Heavenly Mother quotes tracker. I'm going to leave it in all the descriptions of my videos from now on. Send me quotes or talks that you find, and it's just going to be a really more meaningful way for us to really dig into the doctrine, and a way for us to maybe more quickly find the doctrine that we can give to our kids, to the young women, to push back on a lot of really false doctrine that's coming into the young women's program by women who haven't taken the time to read the doctrine and read the revelations that have been available even in the last 10 years. So like and subscribe, send me your, leave some comments below. And I get to see how many people are going to open this tracker. So I'm really excited to see how many of you start participating in it, start looking at it. I'm going to continue to add tabs, add quotes, but this is a resource I want to make available to my subscribers and to all those who are watching this. It's free. And I'm really hoping that we can just continue to just populate this thing with all these wonderful quotes that are going to build up the testimonies, our testimonies and the testimonies of our young women, and really celebrate the restoration that we know that there's a Heavenly Father and a Heavenly Mother, that they have physical bodies, that there's female gender, that there's male gender, they're eternal things, and that they have actual offspring, and their offspring is Jesus Christ and us. And we should pursue, as Oak says, our theology begins with heavenly parents. Our greatest aspiration is to be like them. I just don't think there's any more fortifying truth to give us courage to keep pursuing the path of family life than that. So anyway, leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. I really read all the comments you make. I'm right here with you raising kids, and I'm really, really grateful for all of you who've subscribed and who send me messages of encouragement. It really makes my day to hear that this is benefiting some of you, because the gospel has blessed. as a convert family, the gospel has blessed my family so much. So this is the little bit that I can do. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later. Okay, bye.
How I yearn for you to understand that the restoration of the priesthood is just as relevant to you as a woman as it is to any man. Because the Melchizedek priesthood has been restored, both covenant-keeping women and men have access to all the spiritual blessings of the church. The heavens are just as open to women who are endowed with God's power, that power flowing from their priesthood covenants, as there are to men who bear the priesthood.